What up, B Squad? It's me, JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for, this is going to be Abbott Elementary, you guys, Season 3, Episode 4, and this episode was titled Smoking, you guys. So before we jump into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Abbott Elementary, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode was hilarious, you guys. I cracked up the entire time. So you guys know Janine is still down there at the school board, right? So her classroom, there's a substitute in there. So Janine is watching the sub while she's in her classroom, looking like a whole creeper. So then we see as they're all outside because there's one of the fire alarms went off, and they're trying to figure out why did the fire alarm go off. And while they're out there, Janine is just looking at the sub from her class and just judging the woman like, she did this and she did that. And I'm like, Janine, it's not your class right now, it's her class. So the way she wants to run the class is how she wants to run the class. Now, did I agree with some of the things that the girl was doing? Not really, but it's her, right? Now, the reason why the smoke alarm went off is because they found out that there was smoke coming from the boys' bathroom, and it was a young boy in there who was smoking cigarettes. So so we see them and they're like, we don't have, all the things that we have that the kids can't do here, there's nothing here that says no smoking cigarettes. I was like, damn, you can't do this, you can't do that. But now I remember when I was in school, damn it, I was aging myself, but when I was in school, that was one thing that they said you couldn't do, right? Because, what kids can do today couldn't do back in my time period. Again, I just sound like I aged myself, right? So we see Janine as she went back to her classroom, right? So one of the kids were asking, when it comes to the states, do you capitalize the states? And the teacher was telling them basically, nah, you do whatever you want to do. I was like, that's not necessarily how that works when it comes to it. But once again, this is how she wants to teach. Janine came in and told them that's how you're supposed to capitalize it. And she was like, not how I do it in my class, right? She wants them to just write freely. I was like, oh, okay. Then they called the girl Jessica, not Jessica. There's no I on her name. It's just Jessica. So the kids called Janine. I was like, ooh, that wouldn't fly with my mom or my grandmother. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So we see Ava. So she is they're all in the lounge, right? And she's blaming Janine for not having a son, right? So she's asking them, like, what are they doing down there at what are they doing down there at the board, right? And so she said some kind of dance, and Barbara asked what was the dance, and Jacob wanted to demonstrate the dance. Barbara was like, I do not want to live in a world where white people explain dance moves to me. So Jacob was talking about how nasty it is to smoke, right? And they were like, but you vape. And he was like, Janine smokes weed every day. She was like, I don't smoke weed every day. I smoke it every night, right? So then Gregory says, well, I don't smoke, but I do partake in a edible protein bar. I was like, that way to suck the fun out of it, Gregory. That I was right there with Ava, right? So then Melissa and Barbara talking, and Melissa was like, Barbara, but you down a bottle of Pinot Grigio. She was like, because at one point Barbara was like, the only drug that you guys need is the drug that I live off of is Jesus. And I was like, when she said her drug of choice, I was like, it's got to be Jesus. And she spelled it out for him, right? And then Barbara said to Melissa, well, you sniffed that stuff. And she was talking about CBD. And Melissa was like, I rub it on my body. That is it. Now, meanwhile, there was a student who was recording them and overheard them So they went out there to try to catch the student, but before they could catch him, the little boy had already posted the conversation. So it's all over and everyone is able to see the conversation that they just had in the teacher's lounge, right? Now we'll pause here and move forward, you guys. Oh my God. So after that, everybody is getting clowned, right? Jacob's students are clowning him, talking about how does his car smell and all this kind of stuff. Um, Barbara's kids are asking her about her drinking wine. It was hilarious, you guys. I cracked the hell up. Like, my God, it was so funny. So now the teachers are having to figure out what is their option at this point because things are getting out of control. So Janine said that she called in a Fade. Now, Fade didn't want to help Janine after they found out that she is the one that sent Tariq to them, right? And come to find out, Tariq is suing Fade, but he's losing the case. I was like, leave it to Tariq. So then Janine saw the substitute teacher, Jessica, one more time, and she has another issue with Jessica. And it's like, Janine, this ain't your classroom right now, baby. This is not your classroom. So then we get to this presentation from Fade. And when I tell you, that was the most awkward presentation. It was terrible. The woman that came out there, I was like, is she high? And then the guy, he came from the back at one point with a puff of smoke behind him. I was like, yep, they're high. Then the kids was asking, okay, well, what about this? What about that? Like, my grandfather takes this kind of drug. My mom takes this drug. And one of the little boys said a drug. And she was like, your mama has herpes. I was like, damn, lady, that's, did you have to say it like that? Like, okay. And Abe was like, are you high? I was like, I think sister is. I think sister girl is high, right? So, yeah, Fade was not a good thing for them. Fade was not a good idea. Now, we see Jessica, so once again, we're back with Jessica. And with Jessica, she's basically giving her students the option of picking their homework, doing all kind of things. Is it a bit unorthodox? Yeah. Janine, again, ain't feeling it. But when Janine tried to offer some help to Jessica, Jessica was like, I don't need your help. I was like, you know what? Again, I'm going to say this woman's, her methods might be unconventional at best, but I mean, if the kids are learning, then, well, I don't know what they're learning. I really, truly don't know what those kids are learning, especially with the fact that she told them to freely write. They're calling her by her first name. Again, like I said, I'm Southern, so there's just no way you getting around calling somebody by their first name, especially as a kid. Even as an adult, you really don't do it, but yeah. So, okay. This was, like I said, this was a great episode, but it was weird. From Jessica to the Fade stuff. But we'll pause here, you guys, and we'll move forward. All right, you guys. So, remember, all of this took place because one kid had a cigarette that he bought from somebody from around the corner. Now, damn, maybe the person is, I don't know. That was so weird to hear that the person is selling cigarette Lucy's around the corner from the school, and then you selling them to kids. So here's a little quick tidbit about it. Here's a little quick tidbit because I feel like this kid is that little boy looked like he's a big kid. He's a bigger kid. He's a big kid. He doesn't look like he is in Jacob's class. He looks like he could be so Jacob, I feel like he doesn't look like Jacob's student. I would say that boy is no more than 4th grade, maybe 4th or up, right? And as a kid, I will be honest with you guys, your boy, he did definitely partake in smoking as a kid, right? I actually remember the first time me and my cousins, we did it. My aunt was dating this guy and he had his cigarettes and it is Black and Miles, right? And all the badasses, we just found them and stole them and lit them bitches up, and that's how we got into smoking. Now, some of my cousins continue to. I am a recreational person who I do it very loosely, right? Now, what I will say is I knew for a fact after the first few times of smoking cigarettes, I was like, ooh, this is not for me. The smell alone is just terrible. Now, like I said, Black and Miles, and as Barbara said, the devil's lettuce, I partake in that, right? So at this point, they're having to go through all of the students' bags, and they're gonna have to suspend the little boy who was in the bathroom smoking. And all of them feel bad about having to do it, right? And Barbara, I think they all kind of realized that they hadn't had a conversation with him to even see if this is something that he did one time or if it's something that he's been doing, right? So they realized nobody has sat down and had a conversation with them, right? Now, we're going to move back over to Jessica real quick. Jessica, not Jessica, Jessica. So back over to Jessica. Janine went to talk to Jessica after having a conversation with Barbara, because Barbara was like, when you came in, there were some things that you did that I kind of looked at, but, Janine was like, no, I didn't. She was like, yes, you did. So Janine ended up going and apologizing to Jessica, but that apology, she could have kept it because Jessica didn't remember a damn thing about her interaction with Janine, or maybe she did and she just didn't care because, well, actually, she probably didn't care. She didn't know because this is her last week here, so she is moving on to the next thing because it wasn't fulfilling to her. I was like, oh, I'm glad it wasn't, because but she said, I feel like I deserve the apology, so I'm going to accept the apology. I was like, oh. Now, Melissa and Gregory, they sat down with the young boy who had the cigarette, right? And it was a one-time thing. He did not like cigarettes, and he told them that. And again, they don't really feel good having to suspend him. So Gregory had some favors that he could call in, and he was able to keep the young boy from being suspended. So that was that. Ultimately, like I said, it was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. I laughed so much with that episode, you guys, and especially at the end with Jacob because even, so he has this vape pen that he bought, and it's not really a vape pen, right? It's a pen where he's just inhaling air. And I was with Ava. So what a dumbass, because she basically called him a dumbass, and I was like, actually, Ava, I ain't got I ain't got no choice but to agree with you on that one, because, and then he said how much it was over $200 something for a pen with air in it that you're just sucking on. Nah, bruh. Nah. But yeah, you guys, that's the episode. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode of Abbott Elementary in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next one.